Perfect.
Welcome into Tips for Gamers, and in today's video we're going to be showing you how to trade for the best defensive lineman in Madden 22. If you like the content that we provide, leaving us with a like, sharing our video, commenting down below goes a long ways, and we can't thank you enough. We didn't want this list to just be the highest overall players possible, to where you would either give up too much, struggle trading for them, or that it would hinder your ability to rebuild more than just your defensive line. We wanted to think about player talent, player cost, and potential growth in conjunction with one another. Defensive line is, in our opinion, the most important part of a defense. We wanted this list to also include both user play and simulation leagues. Creating havoc for an offense starts with the D-line. Pressuring QBs, getting sacks, and disrupting the run are how kings get their crowns. It is also only a microcosm of the entire defense, so we do not believe that it should be the only thing that a defense has. This is why we wanted to provide a solid defensive line that fits the following quality conditions that we look for. These conditions are straightforward, and we are very strict with following these set conditions. Number 1, youthfulness. They must be able to grow into your system without the fear of near future regression. Number 2, cost effective. They must be somewhat easy to sign without becoming such a financial anchor that your franchise becomes financially weak. Number 3, these players must pass the trait and talent test. And at number 4, players must also be feasible to trade for in a realistic setting for those who want to stick with a more realistic Madden ideology. And the first guy we're going to talk about is Jeffrey Simmons. He is fantastic on almost any place you put him on the defensive line. This guy is a freak and a massive, strong human being. He's a big hitter. On his traits: swim move, ball rush, strip the ball. He's high motor, balance and penalty tendency, which is good to see for a big fella up front. But really what makes this guy special is not only his traits, his size, but also his attributes that he has. His injury is an 84, which is, any lower than that, you'd be starting to play with fire. But he's got, it's funny too, his impact blocking is an 85, hit power an 88, his pursuit's a 90, his stamina's low, but that's to be expected with most big fellas up front, whether that's on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. He's got good power moves in 83, something to work on. Okay, his speed is not great, but he's got that acceleration. His strength's a 95. Wish that did more in Madden, but his play recognition, his awareness, his block shedding, this guy is a beast. What's great about him too, star dev, he's only 24 years old. So this guy is a guy that, we wanted to go and pick up because he's right in that overall, which makes him fantastic. He's an 85 overall. If he was much higher than this, it'd be very difficult to pick him up in a realistic format. The other thing about this guy as well is you might as well pick him up as quickly as you can, because there's a high likelihood that the rating adjusters for Madden are going to increase his overall as the year goes on. And the beautiful thing about Jeffrey Simmons is you can pick him up with a second-round pick current year. You need a halfback as well. Their halfback is injured, Derrick Henry, as many of us know, so they need a halfback right at this moment in time. A 6th-round pick as well to finish it off. We're going to go with a 6th-round pick of next year. Okay, you can go with probably a 7th-round pick of the current year, 2022. But if you're going to go with a 6th-round pick, I wouldn't go with the current year of 2022. Go with the next year of 2023. And the beautiful thing about Jeffrey Simmons is if you move him to a D tackle, he jumps up 2 overall points. So even if you're on the Tennessee Titans, you might want to look at possibly putting him at the D tackle position. He's 6'4", 301 pounds. In real life, this man is stronger than an ox. He's one of the strongest human beings I've ever seen. And he could easily play the D tackle position. Like we've said, the Titans are utilizing him on the defensive line across the board. He could play on the left side, the right side, in the middle, and this guy's going to do fantastic work. And go ahead and try to have him on a one lineman trying to block him. Good luck with that. Now the next guy on our list is Rashawn Gary for the Green Bay Packers. He's an 85 overall, 23-year-old, massive man, 6'5", 277 pounds, out of Michigan. Star dev. There's a lot to like about this guy. Quite a bit to like about this guy, and you're going to see, too, the stamina's low, but that injury's got that +4 morale boost, which is pretty cool. But he's at a 90 right now, and even if you take that +4 away, you're still looking at an 86, which is plenty. It's good. So his personality is spontaneous, really doesn't have anything to do with excellence in Madden terms, but he's got the bull rush and he's got the high motor. Now, this is also a selling point of why you could pick him up. He's not absolutely perfect. Okay, if he did, he would have more traits like Jeffrey Simmons. However, he does not. He's got good toughness too, and 89 jumping. So, you know, if he wants to jump in the air, he's got that. If you want to put him at wide receiver, that's a possibility. Horrible man coverage and press and all that. So, yeah, you know, he's not really that great of a outside linebacker. He'd be more in a 3-4 style if you're going to keep him an outside linebacker. However, if you want to put him at defensive end, this guy is going to dominate. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got good speed as well, an 86 speed, 88 acceleration. He's got an 86 pursuit, 86 power moves, which I love. He is a strong dude. This guy is very strong. But you're talking that kind of speed at a D end is really, really nasty, because that means if he breaks it out, that quarterback is not going to be able to get away from him. He is going to track him down like a heat-seeking missile, and he's going to claim his sack. So to trade for Rashawn Gary, you need to have a halfback of yellow interest. You would need a left tackle that shows green interest. Remember that David Bakhtiari is injured. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. He's injured right now, so they're needing a left tackle. Now, a cool thing that Madden has implemented is that, you know, if a player's injured and stuff like that and he's not in, they'll show the team needs jumping up in that position, because in reality they don't need a left tackle. They just need a guy that can help them get to the Super Bowl, which is really what this team is trying to do. And you would need a third-round pick of the current year or a better third-round pick of the next year. And you can see I've fallen slightly short of that. So all I'm going to do now is just try to massage it. And you can do this either on the Packers or you can do this with another team. But in essence, you want to think about, well, I need a third-round pick of some sort, right? And that's kind of what you want to think here and utilize that. So one thing you guys always want to think about in the trade game is always being able to work around a system. That is the most beautiful aspect of the trade logic in Madden. Now, I could have likely have gotten a second-round pick of the current year. I could have utilized even next year's draft picks and gotten, you know, a third, fourth, and what have you. However, we wanted to keep it a little bit better instead of milking the system too much here. But let's say you got a guy that, like a left tackle, like how I had that last one, and I'm just slightly short. I'm getting smidged just ever so much. Well, what you want to think about is, okay, they're interested in this guy, right? And I know I need a third-round pick, so can I trade this guy for a third-round pick and then use that third-round pick to trade for said player? And that's kind of how you want to create your thought process when it comes to the trade game. So I was willing to give up a left tackle, showed great interest, which is this third-round pick. So that's how you want to think about it. This third-round pick was a left tackle, and then I was going to give up a fourth-round pick anyways. So now I'm just asking for a seventh-round back. If they say no to this, that's fine. But in essence, I still utilize the same players, right? The same picks. I just did it a little bit differently. Now, the next guy on our list is Josh Allen. Josh Allen should not shock you that he's onto this list. This guy has been playing very good this season, particularly against the Bills. He's played fantastic. Big guy, 6'5", 262 pounds, 24 years old. So you're seeing a common theme here. Now, these guys are coming up on contract, but I can tell you what, if Josh Allen is an outside linebacker, he's going to get paid. You know, if you start getting in that 86 plus range, you're getting up to almost $100 million. Outside linebackers get paid insane amounts of money. Now, you can always put him back at outside linebacker, but that's the whole purpose of the players that we're giving you here. These guys can be moved around. They're not set in stone. Not every one of these guys is 300 pounds and can only do one thing. Even Jeffrey Simmons can be moved around on the defensive line. You can put him at right end. He's going to be fantastic. He could end up getting double-digit sacks at the end of a season. So this is something we wanted to give you guys, was the option to be able to have players like this and move them around in your defense. Whether you're playing a 3-4, 4-3, or what have you, you're going to be able to do a lot with these guys. Very big guy, superstar dev, 24 years old. Beautiful thing about him, great traits. He's balanced in his play ball tendency, swim move, ball rush, strip ball, high motor, disciplined, in penalty tendency, which is fantastic. That is just an added bonus. His injury is a 93. The guy is a workhorse. Stamina is an 81, so a little bit better there. Toughness is a 91, which I like. If he gets injured, he's going to come back a little bit quicker here. Now, the stamina would worry me more if he was an outside linebacker. I'd like to see it in the 86 range, especially if they're running a lot. They have to do coverage. You know, if you're playing more of a 3-4, it's not going to really matter for you as much. However, look at the speed here. 86, 88 acceleration. His finesse moves are an 84. His power moves are a 72, but you can get that up pretty quick with this guy here. Tackling, hit power, pursuit, you name it, this guy's got it, and he can be utilized in almost every single category on your defense. Now, the other aspect that's really beautiful about picking up Josh Allen is how easy you can do it. Now, the other thing is, too, is for those of you who are seeing this and saying, well, it's, you know, that's not necessarily a realistic trade. Well, make it more realistic. We're giving you guys the basic premise of how easy it is to pick him up. Now, it's up to you of what exactly you use, but you can use a center, which is Reader here, 74 overall. Bo Scarlett, you use him left outside linebacker. You could use free agency players and a 5th-round pick of the current year. Now, the big thing about this is we wanted to show you that it's not wiping out your team. Okay, that is the big thing. Like we mentioned previously, we don't believe defensive line should be the only thing you have. I mean, sure, you could go trade for the highest overall guys across the board, but if you're wiping out all of your draft picks, if you're wiping out all of your player personnel, why do that just to have a good defensive line that maybe you'll have a defensive line slightly not as good but can easily get there? You know, because like we've told you guys, overall does not mean everything. So you can utilize on a defensive line that maybe isn't as talented as what the ratings say, but is actually talented enough to be able to win you Super Bowls. And you're not going to have to give away the entire farm in order to do so. Now, the other guy we wanted to show you guys is Dexter Lawrence II. He's a big guy. We'd recommend putting him at D tackle. He has a lot of things to offer, which we'll go over his traits and his attributes in just a moment. But what we wanted to show you here is how easy it is to trade for him. He doesn't have that high overall. He doesn't have that extremely high dev. He is a guy that is going to be difficult to get good over time for most people. So take advantage of this. Offer them a pick. You know, Jacoby Brissett is a perfect opportunity to give the Giants here because he is a great backup. Jacoby Brissett is a fantastic backup. He was a starter on the Colts, and he was, you know, pretty talented, decently talented. And the thing is you don't even have to use Jacoby Brissett. If you want to make this even better, you can use a 65 overall in the free agents. You can use RG3. You can use other players of that magnitude and be able to pick up Dexter Lawrence II. So the reason we brought on Dexter Lawrence II is due to the fact that if you are running a 4-3, you can utilize this man. 6'4", 342 pounds, 23 years old, good development. So his age comparative with his development leaves something to really enjoy. Now, the other beautiful aspect about this young man, this young monstrosity of a football player, is he can fit in a lot of different archetypes. You can see with the speed rusher, he's not too far off, which is crazy to even think about. 82 power rusher. He's got an 83 run stopper. So this guy can fit in a lot of different archetypes, much like a lot of the other players that we traded for. Now, if you don't have the option to get Jeffrey Simmons, he is a perfect backup because, you know, backup option because of the fact that, well, he's just not, he doesn't cost a lot. He's got good strength, block shedding, power moves, all something that I definitely think can make him a, you know, solid option at defensive tackle. Even at the starter position, good tackling. If he gets his big mitts on you, that 342 pounds is going to bring you down. Good toughness, good injury, decent stamina. He can even block for you if you really want him to block. Good pursuit, hit power. We like this guy quite a bit. So, and this is what our team looks like right now. And we didn't just give away our entire team. We didn't give away our entire draft picks. You know, we can still go and draft and have a great draft. We gave up no first round picks whatsoever. Not a single first round pick. We gave up 1 second round pick, and that was it. It was third, fourth, and the rest were players. So, and these are players that you could easily replace. We got Jeffrey Simmons, Dexter Lawrence II, we got Rashawn Gary, and we also picked up Josh Allen. Now, this is a Pro Bowl defensive line, even though, you know, it may not look like it compared to some of the other defensive lines that we've provided in our rebuilds and what have you. However, this is the defensive line we wanted to show you guys that you guys could obtain for without spending tons and tons of money, or, you know, tons and tons of draft picks, giving away your players, or even getting players that are going to regress. Because sure, people will tell you, oh, well, you could just pick up, you know, this guy or pick up that guy, and then the guy all of a sudden turns into an 82 within a year because he's just regressing. This team you can build on. These guys you can re-sign. They're not going to be a financial anchor. These guys will be able to be a Pro Bowl defensive line. And not only that, you're going to be able to take these guys, and let's say you find someone else at left end and you say, hey, I don't need Josh Allen at left end. You can move him back to linebacker. There's so much you can do with this, and we hope that you guys enjoyed this list.
Perfect.